What is all this that you've got here?
Yeah, this is lady called Margaret who looks after this area. She lives just up the road, and she's put up um, bags on lampposts and bins, and she and her husband maintain them.
So you said this was about a week, did you say? A
This
week's
is
worth
a
of...
week, possibly 2 weeks. Um, we put we've got our own colour bags, and we put that little Womble sticker on it so the council know that it's us. But they would recognise our bags anyway after all this time. And it's a fairly typical haul that you've got. I mean, we separate out the cans and bottles for recycling, and the council route them straight off to the recycling centre. Um, we pick up trolleys. What's this? That's part of the trolley. There's no fly tipping this time.
No.
Margaret doesn't really deal with fly tipping, but most of us do. A lot of us do. And you get a usual nitrous oxide canister.
Yeah, they've really sprung up over the past
They
few
really
years,
have,
haven't they?
yeah. We could get a lot more than one in an area like this.
They're just like, sometimes you see when you're walking around littered on the side of the road, like a stream of them sometimes, don't you? About
Absolutely.
10 of them or whatever.
And they gather and they have their little parties, and they leave their canisters and cans of alcohol and everything all over the place.
It's sad, really.
So this is Margaret's maintenance litter pick.
Just going back, where did the Wombles start? How did they originate? Who set it up?
Okay, well, there was always the Wombles. There was the Wombles of Wimbledon Common.
Yeah.
And I came into contact with a couple of litter picking groups in Leicestershire and Northamptonshire.
Okay.
Leicestershire Litter Wombles, Northamptonshire Litter Wombles. And I was a member of Keep Britain Tidy by that time. And I was talking to everyone about setting up a local Womble group myself. And I took a lot of inspiration from these other guys who were there already. Got a lot of support from Keep Britain Tidy on their, they call it Litter Hero Ambassadors program. And that's where it started. We thought we'd have the name Wombles. I think the Wombles, it's a nice name, but it's a little bit lightweight.
A little bit twee,
it's
almost.
A bit twee.
Yeah.
For what we actually do, I've sometimes thought about taking the Wombles out of the name in some way, but we've got name recognition now. We've got quite a lot of branding recognition around here. So, and you can't really change it once we're established. So I've just run with it.
And I guess the flip side of that, the argument you could make is that it's quite a sort of friendly, community-led initiative, and you're trying to get people involved. So Wombles might get younger people involved, children, something a bit more innocent than, I don't know, litter destroyers or something. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe morning. I think that's absolutely it. It's funny when you put posts on social media. The ones that people like are the nice, light-hearted ones. Ooh, look, we picked up all these bags of litter, and there were kids involved, and everyone likes, and you put something a little bit heavy, like I did after yesterday's litter pick, which I could tell you about.
Okay.
People don't like it so much. They want to hear the good news story, the fluffy.
Exactly,
story.
like Wombles, fluffy.
Yeah.
So, how many people are involved in Wombles? How many volunteers do you have now?
We've got on the Facebook group. We've got 1,800, and it's growing quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because I just started putting tags on the posts, and the Facebook algorithms are getting hold of it. So we're getting a lot of people now, but they're not all local to Peterborough. And in terms of actual Peterborough-based volunteers, I always think it's probably about 300.
Right.
I think it's growing. People who do go out there and pick up litter. There's probably a hardcore of 20 to 30 people who always turn up and always make a big difference.
Yeah.
Like Margaret and Michael in this area. There's a lady just down towards Sainsbury's in Oxney Road. There's me and some of my neighbours. There are people in Cardia, Hampton, Stanground, Dogsthorpe.
So it's around the city.
It's all around the city, and that's something we deliberately set out to do. Was to cover the whole city and try and get groups, and almost like litter wardens to look after the area. And I think one thing is the council is so strapped for cash that they've decided to focus on the city centre. So they put their limited resources into this little
Yeah.
band around the city centre, to the utter neglect of the rest of Peterborough. So we try to rectify that. We try to reach the parts that they don't reach. The council, it needs bins.
More of them around the city.
Bins. I mean, here we are standing by a bin. You'll see bins over in that park, no problem. You get onto those pathways, not a bin in sight.
I mean, let me just defend the council just on one. Do you think people would use them then? I mean, because the sort of people I always thought who litter maybe don't even care about bins, maybe don't care about using them.
Well, you know, I think we proved that people do use them, because you'll see some as we walk along. We started putting up bags on lampposts.
Yeah.
Like that lamppost would be, we don't have a bag on it, but you can easily just hook a bag around. You can just tie it on there.
Yeah.
So it goes down, and you'll see a couple as we walk along, and we put some of those on the pathways, and people really use them. It's been remarkable.
Okay.
I mean, we come along, and those bags, they will fill up in a week, 2 weeks, and you look at the litter on the floor, there is hardly any.
Right.
There's only litter on the floor if we forget to change the bags.
So what have the council said as to why they won't put more bins up there?
They
Cost.
haven't got the money.
Yeah. And the time, I assume, to pick up more is a factor as well, to extend, well, not extend the route, but break the route more, I suppose, is another.
Well,
maybe
it's not just putting the bins up. That's the least of it. It's maintaining them and emptying them. So we have a network of volunteers. We don't have enough volunteers who are prepared to do the dirty work of maintaining those lamppost bags, because you get all sorts in them, and that's the sad thing. It varies from area to area. I mean, you do get areas where you just get the street drinkers and it's all alcohol.
Yes.
But equally, you get areas around schools that's all sweet wrappers and soft drinks. What else do you get around takeaway areas? You know, any McDonald's, Burger King, etc. You're going to get all that stuff.
Just going back to the schools.
Yeah,
that's really sad, because most schools I know, and I'm a governor at a school, and educate kids, don't they? Or try to, at least, about the environment, about litter. So how is that happening?
I think it's a bit of a hard sell. I mean, I've been into some schools. It's not my specialty. There's a lady at the council who runs a recycling education team.
Yeah, Christina,
and she does it as a sort of general environmental education.
Yeah.
So she will often go in. If I get a contact from a school, I will contact Christina and say, hey, do you want to talk to them in an assembly? And if they want to set up a litter picking group, I will take them along, give them the kit, show them what to do.
Yeah.
So we work together on that. But it's a surprisingly hard sell. I mean, I've been in a couple of schools with Christina and her colleagues. The kids just want the freebies. If you
handouts,
you sit there with a stand and you're not giving anything away, they won't come near you. They're not interested in environmental messages. Especially the secondary school. They get a bit cool, far too cool for picking up litter. Whereas some of the smaller children, some of the primary school children are really, really keen.
Enthusiastic to do it.
Yeah.
They've not reached the stage where they're thinking so much about what their peer group thinks. So they're okay. So that's interesting and disheartening at the same time. And you mentioned their takeaways and restaurants. Do you think that these companies, I'm not talking about the smaller ones now, but the ones like the McDonalds and the Subway and all these various ones, do you think they do enough to deal with litter, or is it down to them?
They certainly don't do enough, but it's not down to them.
Okay. That's a yes to both, really.
Yeah, because we've been litter picking with the big McDonald's on Brotherhood.
Yeah.
They had one of their staff who was really keen on it.
Yeah.
And we did some litter picks with them. They looked after their area. Then they ran into turf wars with Morrisons, because the McDonald's staff were going, well, what are we doing? Maintaining all Morrisons, looking after all Morrisons rubbish. They're not doing anything.
Turf wars. My God, yeah. I mean, I get it because they're putting in. Yeah, I understand it, but that's surely you've just got to be bigger and just say, well, we'll just clear this little bit, and Morrison's can do that bit. But
I think everybody's got to be a bit bigger.
Yeah,
to be honest,
yeah.
We spend our time. We go out there. We just do it.
Yeah.
I wish more people did, but all of us Wombles, we are just doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone else should be doing it, and sometimes people comment, not very often, but you get the occasional comment, oh, the council should be doing that, it's not your job. And we're going, the council hasn't got resources to do it. Who else is going to do it?
No.
So, that's our position, really.
There are certain areas that are problematic. You've been out with a councillor to, like, Millfield was the area you said.
It's sort of New England.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Millfield's got its problems as well, obviously, and there are other areas. You could single out parts of East Ward along Boongate where they have the car boot sale. Those pathways have always been bad, but again, to be fair, the council's got much better control over those, because there was one area, Dickens Street, Charles Street, just over the road from the car boot. We first saw that 4 years ago, and there was a very active councillor who really stirred it a bit, and there were rats running everywhere, and that is an issue. And I was going to say about the food waste that we saw on Occupation Road, because some people had just seen fit to dump 3 bags of mainly food waste, which had all been broken open, probably by wildlife, and the food was starting to spill out all around those bins. You're going to get
contamination,
rats, public health issues, and we do work. We report the needles and the rats to the public health and environmental teams, and they need those eyes on the ground. Really, that's something we do to give them information.
Just tell us a little bit about. You mentioned the PSPO there. Just say that again for me, because you were in a park was it Occupation Road? Did
yes,
you
it
say?
Was. Yeah.
And tell me about that again. Sorry.
Okay, so it's street drinking on a massive scale. We probably cleared 5 fly tips from along that stretch. We found a needle. That area is part of a big area, Millfield, New England, right up from the city centre to North Ward, basically. And that is subject to a public space protection order, which I think the idea is sort of no street drinking. The police can disperse people who they think are causing a public nuisance or even just making people uneasy. I think that's all possible under a public space protection order. So they've got extra powers to go in and have a presence and move people on and give them fines for littering, although it's laughable, actually, if you think of the way those people currently treat that area.
Fine isn't going to turn them off, is it?
Contempt. They'd laugh in your face, but I think there's a thin wedge to everything, and you've got to establish a presence. You've got to get the message across that finally, guys, we're taking this seriously. You can't just do what you want in this area. And
you like you say, you're keen to emphasise that you think it's only 2 or 3% that are really the perpetrators, and the other 97% are the ones who have to put up with it, basically.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
It's so sad. I mean, they must see littering. People must see it all the time. They must see the people actually doing it as well, and that must be the frustrating thing. And you must see that. Do you catch people littering?
Very seldom, because
at night
they're nice enough when they see us going out picking litter. They're not,
but they know, unless
they really want to be bolshy and difficult.
Yeah,
they're not gonna throw it on the ground. I mean, more often we're out there picking litter, and somebody comes up and says, "Here you are, mate." And
that's good though, isn't it? I mean, you were talking about behind here. You've cleared all this completely of. I mean, how long did it take to clear all this? Because I keep looking there, like you say, you would think that was a haven for the sort of area where there would be toys and things dumped. But you guys all cleared it all.
It didn't take that long. I'd say we did it maybe 3 times over the course of a few months.
Recently, relatively
No,
recently.
This was a few years ago that we got on top
And it
of that.
stayed like that?
Pretty much. I mean, sometimes, I said that Margaret and Michael look after this area.
Yeah.
All these people who look after their areas, sometimes we'll schedule a Sunday litter pick and just go a bit deeper and give them a bit of support. Because people who look after these areas, they don't necessarily want to go digging into that, especially if they're a bit older.
Yeah, of course. Well, you've got a slope to get down there, and you don't know what's going to be there, and your feet might be unsteady. Yeah, exactly. You could slip. I get that.
But
so
if I schedule a Sunday litter pick there, we can start in Saltersgate where we met.
Yeah.
We can come up here. We can just make sure all these areas are cleaned out. We can go into this whole shelter belt up here, and you can see it going up to the bridge.
Yeah.
And you can see our bin up there on the bridge. And that bridge was a major area for fly tipping. People used to just routinely chuck their stuff over the side of the bridge.
Oh.
And that habit, I wouldn't say that habit is eradicated, but it's getting a hell of a lot better.
It's lessened. And like you say, there's a few bits and pieces. The notebook here, which I suppose we could pick up ourselves.
Straight into the
See,
school.
and that's the thing. Some people would recycle it, but with your local knowledge, possibly what school that is.
That's my favourite thing, in a way. If you get something like this, I found people's ID cards, credit cards. I found a box of kittens.
What?
Left by the roadside.
When?
By the pathway. This was about a month ago, maybe 5-6 weeks.
Oh my God, that's inhuman though.
Literally. Well, they might have known we were coming, to be fair.
So they did it deliver. But why not just take them to a vet's or something, or I don't know. Or
some people just don't know what to do.
Well, with leave animals out. So what time of day was that?
It was 10:30
in the morning.
In the morning.
So rather than, if they could put them out at 10 o'clock at night, then they were almost certainly all have died.
Absolutely.
I suppose at that time, the only argument you can make is that, like you say, somebody's likely to come along and look after them. And
it was a hot day, so it was obviously
they weren't going to freeze. But
that was great because we phoned up Peterborough Cat Rescue. They came straight along, took him away, got him vaccinated, got him rehomed, and the lady who rehomed them keeps posting about them now. Which is all nice.
Well, that is great. Let's have a talk about this as well. So this is where you were saying that people just used to come along here. You can see behind there.
Yeah.
That's an obvious place that people would chuck stuff. But as you see, there's very little behind.
There's very little. It's an absolute remarkable result for Margaret because she not only picks up litter, she tackles people. She
quite feisty,
gets in their faces.
Okay.
And this is unbelievable because if you'd come here 3 years ago, it's just deep in litter. And again, you might ask how long did it take us to clear that? Similar sort of thing, a few visits, an hour or so each visit. The thing about picking up litter, you get a team mob-handed, you get 5 people in this lot. It's amazing how quick the litter goes down. And then an hour later it's gone.
And you've also got you mentioned earlier the branding and the QR code, so people can find out more information about yourselves and how to deal with litter. Oh yes, and an additional.
Someone's given us a little addition.
Whatever that is, a crab or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Nice bit of street art. We should be doing more than that. More of that. But yeah, we've got a couple of these bins put up at our own expense actually. But you've got to have someone to maintain them reliably, because if you're going to go to the trouble of putting one of these things up, you've got to have someone you can trust to look after it properly. And in this area, we've got it. So I think our emphasis is really at the moment on getting the council to put up more bins. But one thing I'd like to do is get more businesses to sponsor bins. So this has got our sponsorship on it, but I wouldn't be averse to having any business
help it,
do something similar.
Well, it's sort of social responsibility almost that can help.
People overload their bins and they're overflowing,
and they're all over the place.
Often you see them with the lid won't close. in all areas.
Yeah,
And the wind blows, you can guarantee it's going to be all over the street. And when the council come along and they clear the bins into their trucks, they don't care if it blows around, because those operatives are on such a tight schedule. You can see them running around. Yeah, they haven't got time for anything. So not only wind blowing, but if they have a contaminated bin, odds are, almost certainly, they will just not pick it up. They'll leave it there. What happens to a contaminated bin? It sits there, still overflowing. Litter accumulates all around it.
You mentioned earlier on.
Yeah. You know, before you know it, you've got a fly tip on your hands. Now, if they just had a little bit more time to knock on the door and say, "Hey, we're not taking your bin. Do you know why?"
Yeah.
And tell them. And then the word might get around. But there's no grip. There is an epidemic of overflowing bins. And there's no grip. There's no strategic determination to get hold of those problems and deal with them.
Okay. And is that local or national?
Well, I know about it local. I suspect it's a national problem.
Yeah. But like you said earlier, and you said that you'd reported some drinkers in one of the parks to where there's a PSPO.
Yeah.
And it's very useful for the police to know that.
Yeah.
They're probably tackling other crime.
Yeah.
But we also have, when you've got, I don't know, issues with other crime, NHS problems with other public services, littering might be fairly down there.
You said that twice now, and once upon a time you had, well, you still do have, you have different departments of government.
Yeah.
You have some people responsible for the ones you mentioned. You've got social care, NHS, education, everything else. You've also got environment. And within environment, you have responsibilities for public spaces.
Yes.
That's what's being neglected. And you mentioned the police maybe being a bit overstretched. Who defunded the police? Who cut the police force to inadequate staff numbers? At the time they said, "Oh, this isn't affecting anything on the ground." Oh no. If you now come to me and say, "Oh dearie me, our police, they haven't got time to deal with petty little things like public disorder," where the hell are we going?
Wow. What do they call it? The broken windows theory, where it's the lower level stuff, and you can see that now it's all very, very true now.
Yeah.
So we've got another lamppost bag here, and you just said it's showing that people care enough to come along and put one of these bags up.
Well, absolutely, because the people walk this path every day. The kids walk it to school and back, the parents do, and the lady who maintains this area, she talks to them. She says good morning to them. They say good morning to her, and they know that somebody actually cares about this area. And that's such a common theme in Peterborough. And we talked about Millfield, for instance, and Lincoln Road. You will get people around there who say nobody cares. And it's just nice to give them the evidence.
That some people do.
Yeah.
That some people do. And it's, it isn't everyone in these areas, and they get a rap, but like you say, it's probably the smaller amount. And once you've cleared a space and made it look nice, as you said, a lot of people will want to keep it that way, but it's getting that initial impetus to get it done in the first place, I guess.
It is, and I really like it when people come to me and say this area needs picking, because we had one the other day in the stand ground. It was just a little park that I'd never heard of, and this lady says, "We don't like going in the park anymore because there's too much broken glass. There are people sitting and drinking on the bench. There's litter all over the place." We got a little group in there, including some residents. We just went and cleared it in a couple of hours.
Well, that's superb. But it shows it can be done.
It really can be done. So we want more people to come to us and tell us about areas like that.
Yeah.
And we extend our reach the whole time.
Something here that we haven't spoken about is dog waste as well. Is that a persistent issue, or?
It's a huge issue.
Yeah, I thought it might be. But where'd you get? Because everyone knows that if you take your dog out for a walk, surely you take the bags with you.
Yeah.
But no, doesn't tend to be.
Well, I tell you what the issue is now. It's as much the bags as the actual poo, because you don't see anything like as much. You look along this pathway. People walk their dogs. I haven't seen any poo
No.
there, and actually, I haven't seen any bags. But what you do get in some areas is if there's no bin,
Just chuck it in there.
they'll just chuck their bags.
Or tie them to a tree. That's always quite.
That's amazing.
Yeah, tie them to a tree. You see that quite. Yeah. Lovely, isn't it?
What are they thinking?
Like a little. I don't. What are they? Early Christmas decorations or what? They're just dangling down there. But you do see it, don't you? And it's like you know that they're going to do it at some point. Most dogs. That's why you take them for a walk.
Yeah.
And yet.
That is one of my least favourite things as a litter picker. You do not want to be pulling a tied dog poo bag off a branch
on a hot day or any day, really.
You can get the secateurs and cut it off, and then put it in the bag
naturally.
But they do naturally decompose, and that's the other thing.
That's the.
But yeah, there are areas, there are parks in Peterborough where it's a really big problem.
Yeah.
And again, it's litter breeds litter, dog poo breeds dog poo, and if people see that everyone is letting their dogs go all over the place, then people will go, what the hell, I'll let my dog do it, why should I pick up? So it's getting it under control.
The other one, the one I was going to speak about, which is obviously not very nice, is cigarettes. How can that ever be, can it be dealt with? Because I've been to areas where there's literally, when I've been on a jog or something in the morning, there's almost a ramp of cigarettes up a curb. There are so many in certain places.
Yeah.
Not enough bins, or different approach to it. Is there an approach?
Where you get them accumulated like that, it's almost more satisfying because you can get a dustpan and brush
and clean them
up. But going back to Occupation Road again, there's a drainage channel. It's actually on Lincoln Road, just next to Occupation Park, and I took a photo of it and sent it to the council because it is a drainage channel which is full of cigarette butts.
Okay.
Many thousands.
So it's just blocking it up.
At the end of that channel, there's a drain. You look in the drain,
it's just cigarettes.
It's blocked. It's rained overnight. Those cigarette butts will have spilled down into that drain and will be blocking it. Now, I said to the councillor, we need a hoover. We need a big hoover. And I could come along with that on my back, or one of us could.
Done.
Hoover them up, done. Begs the question, can't the council do it?
People just don't tend to. I mean, you sometimes buy cigarette bins and they're still scattered around the cigarette bins. That drives me.
I don't think they work at all. I think they're probably a waste of time. You don't see that many of them around. The thing that really does attract cigarette butts is if you put one of those nice little big sort of plant pot things, a planter. I've seen them in the city centre. As you walk along Cowgate, there's a nice big black planter that's got no plants in, but it's got a hell of a lot of cigarette butts.
Right.
So people are using that as a cigarette butt bin.
Jeez. Another littering that you must have seen, and it reminds me of something else I was going to ask. Chucking stuff out of cars. That must be a very regular thing. Now, is it Mark Fishball? I know he's very keen on trying to clean up the parkways and the central reservations, and what a difficult logistical issue that is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put a plug in for Mark here.
Okay.
Because he has done the most incredible job. He's cleaned up the whole Parkway system, both sides and central reservations and slip roads, all the way around. Was it difficult for him? Not so very difficult, because he's a man on a mission with his own truck, his own van, who, to be honest, how shall I put this very diplomatically, he might not be quite as safety conscious as the council would like him to be.
Okay.
But he gets the job done.
Yeah, and he's well known, and
Yeah.
he shouts about the issues on social media.
Yeah.
You know that everyone's aware of but everyone hates it when you're driving along and you see by the side of motorways, parkways, A roads,
Yeah.
and all the things fluttering around and just on the side of the road. It's just people don't want to spoil their brand new Mercedes or whatever and just wind down or whatever. Sorry, Mercedes owners, and wind down the window and just chuck it out rather than.
Yeah, and I'll just divert. There was a mattress last week that someone had taken great trouble to discard somewhere on the A47.
Right.
And it was reported to the council, who said, "Oh, dearie, this is terribly difficult.
Yeah.
We'd have to put traffic management in place. Goodness knows how long it will take us to do that."
Right.
Guess what happened?
I suspect I know that someone intervened.
Someone intervened because it just so happened that if you've got the local knowledge, it's possible to roll that mattress down a slope so it's off the main parkway and can easily be collected from lower down the slope.
Right.
You know, that was just typical get the job done. And if there was more of that, and there has been for Mark, but the thing is, he got a little bit fed up with doing it all single-handed.
Yeah.
And he left it for a few months, and in that time you start to see it all accumulating again, because no one's going to follow his legacy and actually do the job properly.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about while we're on roads, I've got to get this.
No, good.
Is I know in your first email to me, I think you said you were interested in how do we compare with other countries.
Yeah.
And one of the things is if you drive on the American interstate system,
which I have done, yeah,
almost anywhere, you go into a new state, and odds are they're going to have a sign saying littering is not tolerated, maximum penalty X $1,000, and it just gets the message home. It makes you think straight away.
Let's go stand over by this.
I think there are people who absolutely do not give a damn.
There's your cigarette.
Oh, cigarette butts. Now there, you see, that's quite tidy cigarette butt littering.
Yeah, they've almost artistic.
Yeah. Someone's taken trouble to put their butts into that little corner. Now this.
Here we go. Here's the planters you were talking about.
It. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. We've got Coke. We've got
cigarettes.
I don't see so many vapes anymore, strangely.
No. Well, that's. I suppose there's the reusable vapes, isn't there? It's not a. Okay, so, you were going to mention the deposit.
Okay, deposit return schemes. I mean, that's crucial. We just looked at that bit of littering over there. You've got cans, you've got bottles, and back in the old days, you put a deposit on those, you get your money back when you took them back to the shop. And places, half of Europe, certainly Germany, the Netherlands, they've had deposit return schemes in place for ages, and it has a direct effect, because I'd say at least half of what we pick up would be removed or would be subject to a deposit return scheme. And I really don't know why they don't do it. I mean, they've been talking about it, I don't know, since about 2019, perhaps a bit longer, and they always find a reason to procrastinate.
You do literally. I was in Germany last summer, and you'd see people literally, these guys walking around with shopping trolleys, just picking everything up and asking people when somebody was going to get rid of their can, please, and it was, but it was working.
Yeah,
it was literally working.
Yeah, I think it's just too difficult for these poor little politicians. I think. Yeah, go on.
To install, because that should be. That's a vote winner, isn't it?
I think among the vast majority of people, it's a massive vote winner.
Yeah.
I do wonder sometimes, I have to be careful how I say this, but there are quite close links between government and industry quite often.
Okay.
And there's quite a lot of political lobbying. And there are a lot of people who pay MPs money to have their points of view represented. So it strikes me there might be quite a cosy relationship between some of the politicians and the regulators and the industries they're supposed to regulate. So I think they can hardly move with something like the deposit return scheme for fear of upsetting someone.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. bugger them is what I'd say. I'm probably not allowed to
Get
say.
it on,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it
yeah.
on the mic.
I've said it. I mean, okay. I mean, the flip side of that is that if one of those companies gets involved, as we said earlier on, that might make them look really good if they could somehow sponsor it, pay for it, help it. But is it worth it in the end for them when it might, the reverse might be, I don't know, more regulation or something like that?
I think it's one of those things that once you've done it, you're going to go, why on earth did we not do that 10, 15 years ago? It's a no-brainer. And I don't know why they allow the obstacles to stop them doing it.
Okay. Why aren't we getting, let's put this one, let's be controversial. There are a lot of people who are not doing anything in their lives.
Yes.
People who are out of work. Now, there's some people who can't do things, people
Yeah.
with disabilities and the elderly and
Yeah.
they're sort of, but when you've got people who are not doing anything, are out of work intentionally, should we put it that way? Why is there not some scheme to help them, give them a bit more purpose in life? Litter picking and helping clean up their environment could be a really positive way of achieving that. Do you think?
I mean, why on earth would you not? As you rightly say, you've got masses of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Not enough paid people to do it. A labour force. Some of them want to work. I mean, it's quite interesting with all the asylum seekers who are housed in the Dragonfly Hotel. They can't do anything productive. I bet some of them would love to do something productive.
Bet they would. Give them the chance.
Yeah.
To prove that they've we are getting political, aren't we? No, but they've come a long way to be here, and it might actually prove a few people wrong as well. The ones who want to impute negative, aspire negative.
Yeah, it's a double whammy, isn't it? We don't let them do anything useful, and then the people who protest against them are going, "Oh, look at those layabouts living off the state,"
Exactly.
and it's a catch-22 for them, and they're people. They're not without ability, like you say. They've managed to get themselves a long way against a lot of obstacles, and we don't use them. We waste them.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous contradiction in a way that we would think that way.
Yeah.
It might be a way forward for government to think. We need a massive campaign in this country to bring it back to, well, if it can ever be brought back to where it was. But one thing to instill pride would surely be for people to help clean up their areas if they can do it.
Yeah.
If everyone in this country, if the several million people who can't work gave up 1 hour a week, 5 million hours a week, we'd clean up the country within months.
If you made it a bit of a movement and got a bit of pride in it and got people working together, because
exactly, carrot, not the stick.
It's the one thing that we've all got in common is the environment we live in. Yep. Whatever colour we are, whatever religion, whatever political persuasion, we walk down that same street, we see that same rubbish, and we keep finding ways to divide ourselves. And one thing that would bring us together would be just cleaning up the place we live in.